Hey everybody, you're watching Cole the Cornstar. Before we jump into the video, just wanted to remind you, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. If anyone's looking at getting anything from Ariat's website, if you order through the link in the description, you can get 10% off. And speaking of reminders, we do have Cornstar Farms merch available through the link in the description. Well, good morning, Combine. Okay, let's see what kind of mess we can make. Just about 3.5 gallons. Yep, Daddy Cornstar's been sitting here. When I had my little breakdowns last night, I was actually full of soybeans, so we're getting that dumped off here first thing. Kinda weird unloading from this angle, but it works. How'd the repair go?
Easy, didn't take too long. Dad greased everything while I was doing that, so got stuff done.
We got Wade back here again today. We are currently waiting on the soybeans just to dry out a little bit. Overnight, the moisture picks up in the air and it just settles on these soybean plants. First things first, we feel the stems to see if they are wet, because if they are, it's kind of like, oh, hi, pupper. It's kind of like mowing wet grass when these are green. It just makes the combine pull so much harder. And secondly, we grab a set of pods here and we try rolling them in our fingers, and if they just shatter open, that's a good sign. Because then that means they're gonna split open when they go into the combine. But if you roll them and they don't come apart, then we're gonna be spitting a lot of these out of the back of the combine, meaning they're gonna be left on the ground and we're gonna be leaving yield behind. Then once we've done our stem test and our pod test, then we crack open a pod and we find ourselves a little soybean, and we put it between our teeth and we bite down on it, and if it cracks in half, it means it's dry enough, and if it doesn't, well, then it's not dry enough yet. So these ones are kind of half cracking on us. Some of them are, some of them aren't, but the pods are still not really wanting to break apart yet. So we gotta wait just a little while longer. We're gonna give it a try. Oh, it should have been a hurdler. So every now and again, we like to get out and check and see what kind of job the combine is doing behind the machine. Once the soybeans go through the combine, then the waste product is ejected out onto the ground. So the first thing I'm looking for is any pods that could still be on the ground that didn't get split open. If I'm finding a lot of those, that's a sign that it's still a little too damp or it's a little too green. And the next thing is I brush away this top layer of stuff and I'm looking on the ground for soybeans. It looks like we got one right here. The name of the game is to not leave any soybeans on the ground, but these machines are not perfect, so we are going to find a few every now and again. General rule of thumb is if we take a square foot and we find 5 soybeans in it, that means we're losing a bushel an acre. So what I'm finding here is pretty acceptable. Part of those beans on the ground are what accidentally get kicked through the combine. Once again, these machines aren't perfect, but the major contributor to beans being on the ground is header loss. As the bean head comes along and harvests these soybeans, these plants get rattled. When these pods are really dry, it doesn't take very much for them to crack open. When they crack open, the soybeans fall out. So if they're dry enough and they get rattled enough, some of them will fall on the ground before they get the opportunity to go into the bean head. Now, a bushel per acre doesn't sound like it's that significant, but 1 bushel of soybeans is about $9. $9 an acre doesn't really sound too bad if you're just talking about an acre. But let's take that across 2,000 acres. That's $18,000. Oh, hey, Grandpa John's here. The Wade's head's 35 feet wide and ours is only 30. We can get a good chunk done with that. They're saying they're just a little bit too damp yet. The Wade's combine also has a different style bean head than ours. This is what they call a draper header. So instead of having an auger through here, his has belts. So you guys remember that header loss I was just talking about? This style of platform does a better job with less header loss versus ours that has an auger. Holy cow, shorts?
Yeah, I'm glad I got them today. It's warmer, it's gonna be in the semi.
I think we're gonna eat lunch, and then after we eat, should be dry enough to roll. Let me guess.
Hamburgers today, and I put them in pizza boxes.
Don't forget to turn your 4-wheel drive on, Grandpa. Well, if you would have fallen, I would have got it on film.
Yeah.
I'm tired of pizza. I think we're good to go now. Oh, come on. Okay, let's combine some soybeans. Well, I got something caught in my head. Where could it be? Ah, that was a lucky guess. Got a rock, cheeky little fella. Silly rock. Looks like it's quartz. Somehow I didn't break that sickle. I just kind of bent it down, so we just used the old trusty ball pen hammer and knocked it back up. I think we're back in business, ladies and gentlemen. Just like that, we got this field done. Based off my yield monitor here, we did roughly 52 bushels an acre on this side. But hey, that's 4 bushels better than the other side. We now officially have 270 acres of soybeans harvested. That means we're almost halfway done with soybeans. Since we have a little road trip, we need to take the head off. First things first, we have to take the PTO shafts off on the side. Then Dad's gonna undo all these hoses and wires. And then there's 2 clips on the bottom of the head that Cooper has to flip down. Then we just set it on the trailer, ratchet strap to the trailer, and then we're good to take off. It's usually kind of a messy job because you always have the wind blowing a bunch of bean dust in your face. Dad is experiencing that to the fullest right now. Oh, hey, there's Cooper.
I'm just bouncing across the field. We're actually switching to a different field. We just got this field done. We got Cooper coming at us here. Man, he looks like a wild man, out of control. Looks like Cole's back. He's just gonna dump from the combine onto the semi. I don't know if you can see this or not, but Cole's coming with his machine. Guess he's not doing any beans right this second, but the dust, oh man. I'm trying to see how good the head is cutting it to the ground. See how these beans are right to the ground. So you want your head cutting right to the ground. It looks like he's doing a pretty good job for a rookie. He's not gonna get fired over this, that's for sure.
Hands free, baby. We got to the next field with no issues. This field is 145 acres and we call this the North Farm. We call it that because it's our northernmost farm. This particular field's kind of unique because it's an entire mile long. We have the whole thing outlined now, so now it's just time to go back and forth and get this bad boy knocked out. If we have a really, really good running evening, we could get this done. Hey, Tree, what are you doing? Let's get off the property here, yeah.
Level of laziness has kicked in. I just collect auto steer and I don't have to drive across the field anymore. What do you think about that?
I think it's pretty cool.
You heard it. We're on a new field today. It's like 133 acres, something like that. So hopefully we get done here tonight. It's hard to say. It's already 5:30, and I don't know how many acres we've done, but we're cooking, we're moving, so we'll see.
All right, I'm gonna go over and help John roll up his tarp quick, get him on the road, then the boys will be filling me up fast, and I'll jump in the other semi. Kind of fun just watching the beans being unloaded. Looks like John's gonna try it. We'll see if John spins the tires when he takes off. You can hear him rubbing up his engine right now. He thinks it's a race car. Look at that. All brand new tires, brand spanking new. Haven't got the bill on them yet, and I'm not looking forward to seeing that bill. What I'm gonna do when it comes in the mail, I'm gonna accidentally drop that bill on a windy day and let it blow across the yard. And then when I get the second bill, I'll do the same thing. Then when I get a call from the tire man, why ain't you paying the bill? What bill? I haven't seen no bill. Then I'm gonna change my name. We had to put some new tires on this semi too, but that's one thing. You want the tires to be safe, to be good. I just don't want the bill. So tire man, if you see this video, just accidentally put the bill in somebody else's name. Sometimes you just gotta know the tricks of the trade. I'm sitting here looking at the highway out here. When I was young, this is something me and my friends did, and I wouldn't recommend it for anybody, but this is what we did. Us country boys were bored. We'd take a brand new crescent wrench. We'd tie some fishing string on it. We'd lay in the cornfield, but we'd have that wrench sitting on the road, like in the middle of the road. A farmer would come cruising down the road, you know, 45 miles per hour, the windows down. Well, they'd go over that crescent wrench. A $15 wrench, I gotta get it. So as they're backing up, we'd pull that off the road real quick. Well, we had friends down the road about another mile with another crescent wrench out on the road. So this car would back up, and they couldn't see it. Well, then they'd take off and they'd go zipping down the road and they'd come to the next one and they would do the same thing. Well, one of my friends did it one night with a brand new shovel. Not the brightest thing in the world because the car ran over the shovel and smashed it. Them are just kind of crazy things we did when we were kids. Country kids think of things like that.
This field seems to be yielding about the same as the last field, low 50s. We're getting her full. That's not a record load for us. I don't know what will be. Got a load on him. Ah, good, we got backup. That's nice of him. That's one of our landlords. He's coming out, he's picking up some of these trees that fell into the field. Honestly, he didn't have to do that. It's nice of him. I think there's 3 trees there. Body brake. First time I've stood up in a couple hours. I'm gonna get out here quick and do a quick look at some of these beans. I'm in a different variety than what was over there, and these just seem to be a lot tougher. They're just not quite as dry as I'd like them to be. I think I might go over there and do the variety that I know is drier, and then maybe get these tomorrow. Now, if this isn't efficient, I don't know what is. Look at this On-Track 3 Go. We're going through all kinds of washouts and everything else, and it is keeping us right on. Keep in mind, this combine's a 2001. This can go on anything with the steering wheel. I guess you'll probably want to have power steering. Oh, and in case you guys are new to the channel, this is an AgLeader On-Track 3 auto steer unit that goes around the wheel. Like I said, this is pretty much universal on anything that has a steering wheel, especially farm equipment. And then we have an AgLeader InCommand 1200 monitor up here. This is displaying our yield monitor, our moisture readings. We can look at productivity charts, see how many acres we're doing an hour, how long we've been running, how many acres are left in the field. The best part about these two things is we can pull them out of the combine, we can put them in the planter, we can put them in the sprayer, we can put it in whatever piece of equipment we want. We actually run this identical monitor in the grain cart. And believe it or not, the grain cart also has auto steer, so when I'm going across the field, he gets up beside me when we're getting ready to unload on the go. He presses a button and the cart automatically steers itself. So if you guys want to check out any of this stuff, I'll include the link to AgLeader's website in the description. And I tell you what, guys, once you have this stuff, you will not know how you did it without it. Ooh, yeah, Dale Earnhardt, baby. Since that thing does all the steering for me, all I have to do is push this forward or backwards to go faster or slower. Now, as the evening's going on here, we're picking up a little bit more moisture in the air, so the plants are still able to go through the machine just fine. They're just getting a little bit tougher, so we're gonna kind of have to slow the machine down a little bit.
It's about 7 o'clock or so. It could be one of the nights it gets damp really quick, and then that means we'll have to quit. Okay, Natalie, I know you just rode with Grandpa John in the semi. Are you okay?
I am surprisingly okay. He's a decent driver.
How was it, John? Was she a horrible rider?
She was a sweetheart.
I was worried to death if they were going to make it back. And I got the zoom in. Jeez, had to zoom in again.
Somebody at night is really satisfying. All the lights and the dust and the action. Oh, I heard my belt squeaking. That can only mean one thing. We have something stuck in the sickle somewhere. Oh, piece of something. Oh, piece of something. What could you be? Nice piece of steel. What are you doing out here? There we go. The old sickle did a number on you. Oh, you broke my sickle. What is that now? 3 pieces of metal, a rock, and a log. Oh man, that's unfortunate. The video's over and Dad's calling me. Okay, now that we're done being really interrupted, sorry guys, the video's over. Remember, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and don't forget to check out the why do I always struggle with this part? Don't forget to check out the merch link in the description if you want to pick up a shirt or a hat. It all goes to support the channel and everything we're doing here. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.